you, Mr. Chairman. I am a proud co-sponsor of H.R. 3765, and I appreciate the markup today because I believe this legislation is important and it helps to address these lawsuits that we have heard about today and talking about unscrupulous actors lining their own pocket. One quick thing is WSB TV out of Atlanta did a story showing that a serial plaintiff and his attorney filed over 100 identical lawsuits against hotels without even visiting the property. That's what we're focusing today. But also, it's been said here a little bit today, I also want to focus on something because I think this devalues the law of the ADA and its intent. And also, it was said earlier about the, frankly, the perspective of those disabled. I am blessed to walk and run and do all the things that I can do because I am healthy. My daughter was born with spina bifida. My daughter's first steps came when she sat in her pink wheelchair and she rolled, and her mother and I cried for her first steps. I have lived 24 years with carrying my daughter, picking up the wheelchair. Her brothers, who are now 20 and 17, as much as brothers and sisters fight, they would not find two brothers in the world who would not fight for Jordan. I've watched them pick her up and carry her up steps. I've watched her carry her around. And even in these are areas in which it's just at the house or wherever it may be, not even public accommodations. A lot has been said this morning about the intent of the ADA. The intent is to fix. The intent is to make it accessible. As a father who has watched this and been a part of this for many, many years, it was interesting to hear today that we don't need the pre-suit notification because you can't collect fees. Where the judges have said that a cottage industry is developed. My daughter and others who are disabled are not cottage industries. Shame on any of these attorneys who do this. In my opinion, you're lower than even the law you're trying to uphold in this. This is bad. A willful actor who has a business and doesn't want to accommodate ADA, I don't know about many in this room, but is in my condition, if there was some place that my daughter couldn't go, we avoid the business. And by the way, we actually talk. We tell others, and others avoid the business. A pre-suit notification is simply saying you've got a problem, fix it. I know many owners who will simply say, I didn't know. I would challenge many of us to go to our own offices here and say, how really handicap accessible are they? When we think about this, what are we weakening? If the intent of the ADA was to make accessibility that all members of society, no matter what their disability, or for many of us, if we claim to have no disability, I would say look in the mirror, there's probably one finding somewhere. If it's accessibility we're looking for, then that is what we're talking about. How do you weaken a law that says businesses, we're giving you a chance to fix it and make it right? And if you don't, you're going to get sued. How is that weakening? I mean, look, I understand the constituencies we're protecting. I mean, I have a problem, and I appreciate California's work in this, and I do, but also I'm having a real problem with another little cottage industry that's developed, and that is the certified access people. We're paying people who go have a continuing ed course to now go tell you, oh, here's what you need to do and charge you $300 for it. Or my daughter, when we were teaching her how to drive in Georgia, she had to go to somebody who could measure to make sure that they properly put in the handle in the car right. As if her own father would let her behind the wheel of something that would damage her. I am offended. This bill today is simply a measure to say, let's make ADA work. Let's make it work. Let's let businesses know that if you don't do it right, you got a chance to fix it. You don't fix it, not only are you going to get sued, but not only that, we're going to tell in the community that I come from that you're actually not going to be welcome in this community for disability folks are part of us. And my family's not going to tolerate it, and neither should any of you. But to think that those with disabilities have become a cottage industry in the words of a judge, to those that think, well, we don't need pre-suit notification because you can't get attorney's fees, don't bring that to me. Don't tell me that we're weakening a bill that in which you're wanting to actually help those who need help. What is government for if it is not to force that, to make it help? I'm proud to be a father who last week watched my daughter graduate from Warm Springs Vocational Rehabilitation. Her and 50 plus others of her friends. Some walked, some rolled, some hopped, some didn't talk, some signed, but they're all a member of this human race. They're all precious. They just seem to know it better than we do. Don't tell me that that industry is a cottage industry for people who won't even go to a site but yet file a lawsuit saying they're going to help them. If that's where we've come to and that's the defense that we give against this, God help us. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.